Glitch is seeming to be saving Christmas. Unlike y'all mayor, he ain't doing nothing. Off the bat gives me brute force activity. Like that is how basically how brute force works. You fail, you fail, you fail, you fail until you succeed. This bingo. We got a new IP address.
Keyboard mechanical. 100 a minute, I type and that's factual. So I'ma get back at you. Yeah, all of y'all talking about Christmas is magical, but I hope you're encrypted. But I don't even care if it's 256-bit, cause I'ma get past it. Y'all don't know yet I'm that shit. Better watch out, you better go high. I'm coming to town, you see what I type. No running away, cause I am the character you can't escape. Nobody gon' catch me. None of y'all ever gonna get past me, and no one gonna know what the patch be. Such a bad breach, I'm too nasty. Now I'm coming right for the magic. I hope it was fun while it lasted. Now Christmas is mine, and the fact is you can't patch this. I'm a savage, and now they all call me a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Yeah, the heck I is.
What's poppin', y'all? What's poppin'? What's poppin', chat? What's poppin', chat? What's poppin', chat? It's currently 12:45. We still doing some work right now. Before I go on lunch, I get started with day 2 of Advent of Cyber. Y'all, I think I woke up too early. Currently, I am handling some tickets, some user tickets. Whether they be like phishing tickets, or some vendor management stuff. We've been having a lot of crazy emails coming in, but that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm going to probably make me a smoothie or something, and then we're gonna get into today's challenge. If you are interested in doing it and you are new to cybersecurity or you don't know anything at all, make sure y'all visit the link in my description. You can sign up for free. You can do Advent of Cyber with me for free, and Hackmas has a whole bunch of other rooms and challenges to allow you to learn different things as well. So I definitely recommend that. Let me go grab something to eat. Let me go get something to drink, and we're gonna get into this video for today.
It is day 2, and today we are getting into log analysis. So today is one man's false positive is another man's hot query. So I kind of really read through the story already, and just to kind of save you some time from reading, what it basically covers is, if you don't know, working in the SOC is pretty much a group of people in the team that kind of just gets through alerts every single day for the most part, outside of any other activities that you may have assigned to you. So basically, Wareville's SOC team is getting a whole bunch of alerts generated between new and noisy rules, and the SOC has been processing them nonstop just to ensure the town's safety. So this is something that kind of really happens on a day-to-day in a real SOC as well. So with the SOC analysts getting burned out with everything going on in Christmas, they can tend to put more time into false positives than true positives. But what you don't want to do is put so much time into a false positive when it could actually be time put into a true positive, because time is money. The longer the threat has time to do something, the more possibility that the threat actually has of being successful. So basically, the SOC analysts are getting burned out with numerous cases and alerts, and they are trying to determine whether these are true, because now the Wareville SOC team analyst, the alerts to determine whether the rumor is true that Mayor Melwell is investigating chaos within the town. So True positive versus false positives. Oftentimes, it's kind of pretty simple. When you're analyzing an alert, you can sometimes identify whether it's a false positive. Oftentimes, it could also be a true positive, which will cause you to kind of go into it a little bit more. And that's really what the SOC is: a whole lot of investigating, a whole lot of digging, a whole lot of kind of putting a story together to see what happened from beginning to end, just to kind of allow you to understand if it was true, how did this happen, and if it was a false positive, it was a false positive. Sometimes false positives can be sophisticated. Um, in this case, like if a system administrator is running a process that they kind of do often, or sometimes they don't do as often, it could be like a scratch on the head, but in that case, it still would be a false positive. So, how do you determine and differentiate from true positives and false positives? So, that is going to be the biggest crucial question. And to my experience, just with doing it a little over a year now working in a SOC, it can really all just be based on judgment and kind of experience. The more you do it, the better you get, the better you are with kind of knowing if it's true positive or false positive. But sometimes you can spend a lot of time focusing on false positives when you could spend that time on true positives. You know, you spend time plowing through it just to find out it's a false positive. So, how exactly do we ensure that we perform this crucial job effectively? They give us a guide, which is pretty cool. Using the SOC superpower. When they are unsure whether an activity is performed by a malicious actor or a legitimate user, they can just confirm with the user. That is one of the biggest things I strong-heartedly am glad I did help desk. Just customer service, the ability to just pick up the phone, talk to the user, get some answers. Cool, you good to go, instead of trying to guess around, beat around the bush, trying to figure out, scratching on the head, like, what if it's this, what if it's that. You have the ability to pick up the phone or send an email to the user. Hey, did you open this email? Did you do this? Can you give me some information based on what we're seeing? And that allows you to not only have a storyline on what happened, but you also get some context on, okay, this was based on this email this user received. They opened this email, they didn't click the attachment, they opened the attachment, they didn't click the link. So having that ability will save you a lot of time working in a SOC, just because users, depending on how busy they are, they don't want to sit around and wait for you. Some can be very impatient. So being able to utilize that to your advantage, you get to gain context of what the actual situation is and kind of go from there. So with correlation, when building context, the analyst must correlate the different events to help with the storyline. So you kind of got to know what happened prior to, what happened in the middle, what happened after everything occurred in this alert, which is where logs come into play. Logs help you with correlation. They help you determine what was going on before, what the user clicked on, what the user visited, and then tell you, okay, after they visited this is what happened. This is when we got the alert, and this is all the events that happened after we got the alert. So just being able to put the whole story together based on user, based on context, and based on correlation. So our job is to determine if this is a false positive or a true positive. So similar to every SOC, the analyst and Wareville SOC also need to differentiate from TPs and FPs. So this becomes extremely difficult for them near Christmas when analysts face alert fatigue. That is true. Luckily, if you will have the fortune to not be as busy during Christmas, kudos to you. You are one lucky person. So let's go ahead and start this machine. I'm sure it's gonna take us a minute. Alright, so we have our IP address now. We want to visit this site. So let's go ahead and slide on over there. So I'm assuming everybody and their mama on this doing the activity right now. So we may have to come back if we still running into this issue. All right, so we back. It only took 5 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right, so we got username, password, and I'm actually do a split screen so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so we are going to go to discover. And then according to alerts sent, the activity occurred during December 1st between 9 and 9:30. So we want to go to time, calendar, um, and then we're going to do absolute. I don't even have that. What? We just do show dates. Absolute. And we're going to do to December 1st. 9, and then we'll do 9:30, and we do update. All right. So just off the bat, we got 21 hits, and this look like a whole lot of stuff going on. It makes it hard to read. You can see timestamp. You got the agent name, agent type, agent version. But I'm not about to go down through this for every single one. So it looks like they give us some ways to use some filters. Cool. All right. So we're gonna do host name to see the host. We're gonna do username to see the person signing in with their username. We're gonna do event category. This will give us a category for the event, which looks like that's authentication. Cool. And then we're gonna do process command line. This probably means if it was PowerShell or something, it'll tell us what was run in the command line. And then we are going to do event outcome, which sounds kind of like maybe successful, fail. Yep. Okay. All right. So now that we have all these fields as columns, we want to see the results in a format like this. Yeah, this looks a whole lot better. It's easier to read, easier to kind of decipher. Time, host name, username, event category. We see what was running the command line. This is interesting right here. Encoded command. This is probably something we may have to decode. Looks like base 4064, especially with PowerShell. And then we see our event outcome determining whether that sign-in seems like whether it was successful or failed based on authentication. Seems like those both have some correlation to each other. All right. So now that we have it kind of laid out a little better, we can see that someone ran some encoded PowerShell script on multiple machines, as we can see here. But we also see that all of this was done by service admin. So off the bat, this kind of doesn't look so bad. Just because we have it as a service admin, but we don't want to kind of throw it out the window just yet, just because it could be something to it. Maybe somebody signed in without permission. Maybe they brute forced into the service admin account. We don't know yet, so we gotta just keep looking. All right. So the activity is observed individually. And what we want to know is, since because this is done by service admin, we want to see if maybe the IP addresses are different for these logins. So as you can see here, we have the usage of generic admin account also seems suspicious. On asking the analyst informed us that this account is used by 2 administrators who were not in the office when this activity occurred. Okay, so now we on to something. Now we on to something because maybe this may be something malicious, and we can't really assume that is safe or secure just because it has service admin as the username. So now we want to do source IP, and we can see for the most part, at least for these 30 minutes, everything that is in the event category for authentication, we have a source IP. Looks like the IP address is pretty much the same, or it is the same 10.0.11.11 for everything that was successful and authentication was implemented. So my question is there more that we may find if we do a little more other things? So let's see what we are tasked to do here. So since the IP is only available for authentication events, we can filter out the process events to see if there is a pattern. To do that, we can hover over the event category and find in one of the process events. We will see this option. So for authentication, we want to hit the plus sign. So this means we only want to see anything that authentication was implemented in this event. So again, we still only see authentication. We see all event outcomes were successful, and we see that the source IP is the same. As you can see that the output only renders the authentication events. Since the result does not give useful insight, we can go ahead and remove it. We will do that at the top right here. Okay, so since the time frame we previously used was for Powershell events, the authentication events may have been coming from before that. Okay, and we will need to expand the search to understand the context of the historical events for this user. Let's see if we have any of these events from November 29th. Oh, that's a big jump. So we went from, I think it was 12 hits or 10 hits or something like that. So now we have 6,814. I don't know about y'all, but if I got this many hits on the log, I'm not going through them. I'm sorry, I'm not going through them. So the best way I'm sure to probably get around this is with our filters. So let's see what they have us doing now. So 6,800 events. That's what I said. In 3 days, that's crazy. Okay, we're gonna do service admin. For our user, we want to do source IP. We got a lot of failures. I'm not really seeing anything here, other than it is coming from the same IP address. So again, that's not really telling me anything suspicious, because it's not really explaining the spike in the number of hits we have. So we have here, looks like all these events have been coming from the same user, same IP address. We definitely need to investigate further. This also does not explain the spike. Okay, so what you want us to do, chat? Let's filter out for authentication events by clicking. Okay, so we want to see everything that was authenticated. And we want to do everything that's not in this IP. Okay, that makes more sense because we can see if there is also more IP address from this sign-in, and we'll be able to see if there were other IP addresses. Bingo! We got a new IP address, 10.0.11.11. 1.255.1. Let's see. Let me scoot this over so y'all can see. Cool. Okay. So off the bat, just looking at this, I can see that we have some failures, but we have a lot of failures up until this host ADM01. Um, let's actually go down a little bit to see if we have another successful before we see those failures. And just off the fact we got 1100 hits just on that. This may be all. Let me see. I'm gonna filter this out just to see. Yep, that is our only successful login. Okay, ADM01. That's interesting. And that looks like that was actually the last login on December 1st at 8:54:39. And then after that we have no attempts, which is okay. That's interesting. So after applying the filters, the expected result will be similar to the image below. Okay, so this is failures. We see the IP address, we see authentication, and we see the service admin, which is what we just saw here. Um, so we're scrolling down, we see many events fail, but we also see that the IP address for the spike. However, that script was updated with a fresh set of credentials. Anyhow, this may be just another script. Let's find out. So let's remove source IP so we can focus on authentication events, the events close to the spike. Okay, so we are going to remove source IP. And we only want to focus on service admin and category authentication. Okay. So now since we took that out, we only seeing our successful. So we back to these 6,000 hits. So our suspicions are rising. It seems that someone tried a brute force attack a la on December 1st as shown by the same filters applied above. So just like we saw all those failed logins and then all of a sudden we saw a success, that off the bat gives me brute force activity. Like that is how basically how brute force works. You fail, you fail, you fail, you fail until you succeed. The results also showed that they succeeded with brute force attempt because of the successful attempt and quickly ran some PowerShell commands on the affected machine. Once the PowerShell commands were ran, they didn't see any further logins. Cool, that's what I expected too. So this looks like a true positive, and there needs to be an escalation to McSkitty to help us respond to the incident. Okay, come on down, McSkitty. Let's help us down in the SOC. So Christmas in danger. The alarms have gone off and McSkitty has been called to help with the incident. So McSkitty observed that nobody had actually looked at the PowerShell command contained. That's what I was wondering. We have a PowerScript a PowerScript command that's encoded. What does this thing do that we didn't even think about off the bat? So since the command was encoded, it needs to be decoded. So what we want to do is get that command line back. So we want to do event category and make that process. So I'm gonna remove that and we're gonna do process instead. So when we do process instead, we see it as a command line, which I think is pretty cool. And then here we see this is the encoded command right here. So what I like to do is use CyberChef, but let's see what they want us to do in order to decode it. So Miss Kitty knows that encoded PowerShell commands are generally base 64 and can be decoded using tools such as CyberChef. Cool, so we using CyberChef today too. All right, let's go ahead and boot up CyberChef. We're gonna get our encoded command, and let's paste this right here. Oftentimes, if it is base 64, we'll just do base 64, and then we will do, I think we decode the text. I think we got to do 16LE for PowerShell. Install Windows Update, accept all. So it's nothing malicious with this at all. Let's see. So we did base 64 encoded command, make Skitty use 2 recipes, base 64 and decode text. Cool. And then the results provide. Yeah, I was relieved too. Nothing malicious about this at all. So, villain or hero? Who y'all think did it? Who y'all think did the brute force to actually do something good? I think it was the glitch. It gotta be the glitch. So Mesquite further analyzed the secret hero and came to the startling revelation that the credentials for the script and the machines that ran the Windows updates were outdated. Someone brute forced the system and fixed the credentials after successfully logging in. So my thing is, why would y'all want this to be outdated? It's only one person that would want it to be outdated. Mr. Mayor Malware. Ha ha ha. It was Glitch who accessed the AD01 because that was the only successful host name that was actually successful with the login with authentication as an event. Glitch is seeming to be saving Christmas. Unlike y'all mayor, he ain't doing nothing. So all in all, this really was a false positive. It was a true positive because somebody brute forced it, but they did it in a good way to kind of help us, which in my opinion would make it a false positive. But you did it without our permission, Glitch. You did it without our permission, but you did it with good intent and you really helped us. But it's cool. It's cool, Mr. Glitch. It's cool. I respect you. Let's get into these questions. So, what is the name of the account causing all failed login attempts? So, we really only have one account under username. So, I'm going to go with service admin. How many failed login attempts were observed? So, take out process and we're going to go not successful. And that should tell us how many we have failed. So 6,791 hits, which were showing fail. So let's see. 691. Boom shakalaka. What is the IP of glitch? Let's bring in that source IP back again. And we're going to do everything except 10.0.11, 10.0.255, 5.1. And when did glitch successfully log into the ADM01? Let's see. So we're gonna change this to event outcome success. And I kinda wanna go, so when did he first log in to the ADM01 format? Alright, so I'm gonna go with December. So it's month, day, and we have year. Let me see if I can copy this. Let's see if it will work. Yeah! Alright, and so what is the decoded command executed by glitch to fix the system's wear fail? So as we can see here, it was this auto reboot. Okay, that's today's video, guys. I really enjoyed it. This was pretty cool, just going through some logs, plowing through some logs. The good thing about this is if you are interested in doing anything cybersecurity related, whether it's log analysis or working in the SOC, this explains to you how the SOC worked. It explains to you, break down what you're looking for, how to actually go about that process, which is absolutely wonderful. It is great. So I strongly encourage you guys, if y'all want to get into cybersecurity, if you already in cybersecurity, you can join this challenge just to enhance your skills or gain new skills. If y'all want to see me tomorrow for day 3, make sure y'all subscribe and hit the notification button so you know not only when I post, but the time I post as well. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Happy Monday, and see y'all tomorrow for day 3.